right. Do we want to look over what very basic notes I have? Oh, I didn't realize you were recording.
Okay. We're gonna. Okay. I think it's good right there.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay.
Looks fine. I look
So
red
I guess
now.
we started already. Why do I look red? Dude, my lip.
Are we editing this
My
out?
lips are chapped. Because of work this morning. It was freaking freezing. Okay. Welcome. PJ Pants? Is that what we're calling it?
PJ Pants. I thought it was PJ Talks.
Well, like, because we wear PJ Pants.
Well, yeah, but I'm wearing
PJ
shorts.
You freaking weirdo. Who wears pajama shorts?
I do. It's more comfy.
I've never heard of that.
It gets too hot sometimes.
That's why I just take off the whole thing. I slept naked a couple days ago. It was nice. It was amazing.
I think I was always under the impression of PJ Talks because instead of PJ Pants, it was always Paxton and James Talks.
We'll decide.
I think.
Well, we'll go PJ Talks for now. If we change it, we'll change it.
I guess say which one you like better, PJ Talks or PJ Pants.
Hold on, we gotta show this in case we can get sponsored.
I don't think we're getting a brand deal.
That's what you think. Okay, well, welcome to the first episode. It's a little junky.
It's ghetto.
But we're just getting it set up now. The microphone we were supposed to have, the soundboard wasn't working, and we didn't know that. I brought this for the camera, didn't have the thing to hook the camera in, so we've got a table with a mini table hooked up to the camera. I dropped the camera earlier and I broke it and I fixed it back, so don't tell my dad about that.
It has been a very rough pre-production.
But we're here now, so it's all that matters.
It's happening.
So this is
take two.
If this
take
works,
two.
Yeah. It is okay. So I'll explain that. We did a first, like legit, like pretty much a year ago. We did the same thing, and it was beautiful. We had headphones, we had dual microphones with the soundboard,
and everything still worked.
And instead of like recording in MP4, I recorded MKV, and I tried to do I couldn't edit it, and so I tried to convert it, and it messed, and it corrupted the whole file, and I was really bummed. I didn't think to duplicate it. That's my bad. So, I'll take on the chin for that one.
But so what this is we are 100% nerds. Through and through.
In our different aspects, though.
In different aspects. But so this is just parts. We want this to be a place where we can not quickly, but have some time to talk about what we enjoy, some news that has come out and stuff like that, and we try and get as many stuff out as we can. But it's just a matter of what happens. But
so I mean, we'll say my niche is more video games, movies. He's a lot more of the comic guy.
I am much. I think it's. I'm comics. He's video games. We meet in the middle with movies.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah, that sums up our relationship right there.
Yeah,
with nerd stuff.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. That's better.
But so we wanted to talk about what was it?
So Absolute and Ultimate.
Absolute and Ultimate. You kind of like the Marvel DC version of the two things.
Marvel Rivals.
And
I think I want to talk about what show, superhero wise, deserves another season.
Deserves another season?
Yeah.
I can.
Or a show that you want an extra season from that.
Yes.
That you haven't heard anything of.
And so we'll try and have three, as each episode happens, we'll try and have 3 points to talk about each episode. This episode, it will be, as Paxton just said, we will have a comic, video game, and then movie or TV show segment, and that is, I think, the main plan for each episode, just depending on how it happens.
We're trying to make it into intervals of 30 minutes an episode, and then each segment gets a certain amount of time. Then we'll talk about some stupid stuff.
I mean, because we will 100% go on tangents and rabbit holes. I will chase a squirrel like Doug from Up.
I'm pretty sure the first take we did was an hour and 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
And we said around 30 minutes.
We want 30 minutes. So if we go over and you expected something,
just turn it off.
We're sorry.
I mean, just turn it off if you don't.
We'd love their attention time, but if you get annoyed with us, it's okay. But to start it off, Absolute and Ultimate, kind of like the two sides of the same coin, but Marvel and DC versions. What from what you've seen, what are you anticipating
So
for them?
I'm not gonna lie, I can't have an opinion on Ultimate because I haven't seen anything from it. The first I heard of Ultimate was from Absolute when I heard Absolute was kind of the
Okay.
DC copy of Ultimate. Now I've heard of Ultimate Spider-Man and such, but I haven't looked into it. I looked at Absolute Batman. I'm planning on getting the second one. I didn't get the first one because I you know time and stuff, but I did watch a video about it on Comics Explained, and it looked really good. I liked the aspect of Jim Gordon or actually Alfred, like Alfred being
Hunting him.
his own dude and hunting him and kind of being Batman towards Batman. Although,
Mm.
I mean, Batman did get away and kind of be sly to Alfred. I don't know if it was the first or second issue, but Batman stole Alfred's shotgun, and turned it into a non-lethal shotgun and used it against him, which I found really cool. But I'm liking the darker aspect. I'm looking forward to the other Absolute comics with Superman and Wonder Woman. Do you know which other ones
So
are hitting?
I actually I had looked it up before we started just to kind of make sure absolute wise. I am more DC than Marvel, so I know a little bit about what's going on in the Ultimate Universe, but absolute wise, Batman, Superman and Wonder Woman are what has come out,
Hmm.
and we will be getting next year a Flash, Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern that have been announced. Now, a bunch of people are hoping for more and wanting different characters to get an absolute version, and so am I. I mean, everyone would love to see their favorite character get something like that. But for me, actually, right now, though, just from from the Trinity of their absolute titles, based on the first issue, because I haven't read the second issue of Absolute Batman that has come out since during recording this. Batman is actually my least favorite out of the
Hmm.
three. It does not mean it's bad. I loved it, but the Wonder Woman and Superman ones were very interesting, and they were. I think Batman just with how it was very similar to Batman. I mean, every
Yeah,
Batman
yeah.
is always has the same kind of characteristics. But the Superman and Wonder Woman were like, okay, I'm reading Wonder Woman, but this is very different.
So, um, what was like? What's the different? What's the differences from Absolute to regular for Wonder Woman and Superman? Because I know Batman is more of a middle class Batman who works a job and it is Batman, at the end of the day. And he has his own little bat caves in all these different cities and he's going attacking. And it's very different from, the Bruce Wayne millionaire who has his big little underground system. So I'm trying to like what's the differences between that and then the Superman and Wonder Woman ones?
So just from the first issue with Superman, as far as I can tell, now some people can understand things better than I can. I'm not sharpest tool in the shed and everything like that. But with Superman, the biggest thing that I can tell that was the big difference was he at least grew up his early childhood on Krypton with his parents.
Mm,
So, I mean, I'm sure he actually gets to where adulthood is, but as of the first issue, that's just all I saw. And then with Wonder Woman, it was something with the gods, didn't like the Amazons, and Apollo then took baby Diana and gave it to Cersei, gave her to Cersei in hell. So,
mm.
like that, the one of the cool moments at the end is like, she's like, I am Diana of Amazon, princess of hell, daughter of Cersei. Like that was a very cool moment when she's like saying that to the monster she's fighting in the issue. But that's the big difference so far that I can
So
tell.
will she still be a superhero in this universe? Because I know, at least in Absolute Batman, some of the bad guys are Batman's friends, and they're not necessarily the bad guys. At least in this
Yet.
instance of these issues, yeah.
And so far, I mean, she was fighting a monster. Like she seems, I not seems, she will be a good character as far as I can tell. It's just almost kind of like a different upbringing versus the powerful women on not that Cersei isn't powerful, but surrounded by these powerful and pure women on Themyscira versus being raised in hell by a witch. But and then the to switch over to the Ultimate Universe. Now I don't know as much, but I know it's I've seen a lot with the Spider-Man, which is I think the most popular of
Yeah.
the titles. But it's interesting that like it's Green Goblin or Harry and Peter are grown up. So it's almost like when they're young, they'd fight like fight,
Mhm.
but it's like in this they seem to be like talking out their differences much more. I mean it's comic books.
So do you
Fights are going
know
to happen.
do you
But
know how the Ultimate Universe started? Because I know obviously Batman was like the dark side, dark
yes,
side's
so
interpretation of the
Absolute
universe.
in DC is like running off of dark side energy, whereas the Prime Earth runs off Superman energy. I believe that's how it's described. And then the Ultimate Universe, I don't know as much of how it started, but I know Reed Richards of this universe, the maker, is like trying to control it and is controlling it in some way. But I'm pretty sure that storyline will start to more unravel as next year starts. I'm pretty sure an Ultimate Wolverine, which that's actually as of right now. I mean, obviously, there's only January and February announced of next year, but that's probably my most anticipated comic of next
Yeah,
year.
you did tell me about that. There is so much stuff coming out, and I still have so much in my backlog that we got mainly from the fan expo that we went to this summer
Yes,
in
Dallas
Dallas.
Fan Expo in
I
June.
got the full um, pretty much volume of White Knight. I got the Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What else did I get? I got a Punisher series, so I got all this stuff to read. I know I got the I think it was the Penguin year. Oh, which one was it?
One Bad Day.
Yeah, One Bad Day. Um,
Great read.
so I've got to kind of prioritize what issues I'm getting. So which ones are you like most looking forward to? I know you said Wolverine. I'm looking forward to the Martian Man. I didn't know they were making the Absolute
Yes, and
Martian Man.
it's that one I don't know much about so far. I mean, all I really know is what the cover looks like, and the cover,
Yeah.
as of right now, looks cool. Next year, I'm looking forward to Aquaman finally having an ongoing again. I believe it's an
Mhm.
ongoing. But everything with DC All In has been great so far. I mean, it just started, obviously, but it's been great so far, and it's continuing into next year. And so DC, I obviously said I'm big into a lot of DC's All In new stuff I'll be getting. But for Marvel, I'm definitely looking forward to Ultimate Wolverine and the new Iron Man series that started
Mhm.
the last month is very interesting so far.
I haven't heard much, but I think Star Wars is a little dry right now, based on the comics. I haven't seen much, especially with. I don't think it's this dry. I think it's just DC and Marvel have just blown it out of the water lately with the release like frequency and how good the releases have been. So I'll have to look at that. Actually, I'll look right now and then
I
while we're
mean,
talking.
as far as I know, DC and Marvel have been doing really well. But another up and comer that I have loved, I mean up and comer, I say it like it's a nobody, but the new Energon universe
I was
is
going to ask
also
you about that.
very anticipated with Transformers, GI Joe, hopefully more Hasbro
Hmm.
prop. I don't know. I mean, obviously GI Joe and Transformers are their most iconic, but hopefully we could see more and different stuff with
So,
it.
are there GI Joe comics coming out, or is there other forms of media with
Yes,
the
it's
Transformers universe?
there's the Robert Kirkman said, I believe, when it started that they hope to have like four titles going at once, no
Hmm.
more than
Okay.
four. And it's for the longest time it was Void Rivals, which started it off, which is a completely original thing written by Robert Kirkman,
Hmm.
and then Transformers, which is written by Daniel Warren Johnson, and that's been, I mean, one of the best titles of the past 2 years. And then they'd have two GI Joe minis going on with them, and the first ones were Duke and Cobra Commander, arguably the most iconic and most prominent on each side. And then after that, they had Scarlet
There you go.
and Destro, and now as of October, no, beginning of November, the GI Joe title has started.
Yeah, I'm not seeing much from. Let's see, which one is it? Yeah, I don't see anything from this week for Star Wars wise. Nothing from it's just really dry right now. High Republic Adventures is coming out. That's pretty much it. I think they're really on the High Republic roll. They've been doing that for how long? Like a year and a half, I think. I remember it
Yeah,
coming out, but
that sounds right.
yeah, I
I'm
remember.
not as much into Star Wars as you are, so I
I
don't really
remember
know.
the first High Republic thing I ever saw was like a book in like elementary school or middle school, and then they started coming up with these comics, and I was really looking forward to it. So I see from here this week, actually tomorrow, West Coast actually, yeah, tomorrow, West Coast Avengers comes out. Uh, issue one that looks really interesting. Um,
I've
it's
enjoyed a
a
lot of
yeah,
the old previous West
hmm
Coast Avengers
a
titles. They're
new
pretty good.
So Iron Man and War Machine make a group of Avengers, and it seems that Ultron is on the team, which seems really interesting. Spider Boy, I haven't seen too much of that.
That is
Um,
it's I don't know if it's big other than in the comic world,
mhm.
but I've read some of it and it's been good.
Venom or the Ultimates. Let's see. And then there's some Christmas stuff starting to come out, which looks
I'm
pretty
ready
cool.
for I'm always ready for Christmas stuff. Uh, Last year, DC did the Batman Santa Claus Silent Night.
Hmm.
That was a very
Yeah,
enjoyed miniseries, and they're doing a sequel to it this year that actually came out today. I haven't been able to pick it up yet, but I'm ready to.
and you did tell me that there was a rumor of the Deadpool
Yes,
Christmas special. I better see it be a real thing. You better not
it
have
was no, it
clickbaited me.
wasn't. I didn't clickbait you. It was just I saw a bunch of people saying it on like Twitter, Instagram, everything like that. Apparently, Ryan Reynolds had posted a thing of like Deadpool wearing a Santa hat and Santa outfit,
That would be
and now
absolutely
people
legendary.
thought that there could be a Christmas special coming.
I
But
know people are still riding the Deadpool Wolverine train, especially going into Disney
oh
Plus. I saw
yes,
a couple
it just
people
came on
went
to
a couple
Disney
people
Plus.
went back into it with it releasing Disney Plus. Now we're gonna segue,
So yeah, we're at Marvel right now, and we're gonna keep going into Marvel.
yeah, with Marvel Rivals. I am thrilled,
It's been my most anticipated game of the year since it's been
and I
announced.
think it's the anticipated game for next year. I mean, the Game
Yeah, because
Awards, yeah, the Game
it
Awards is
starts
happening
this
now.
year, but it's really starting next
Yeah,
year.
December 5th. The Game Awards is happening now, so they cut off. And the games this year were very dry. I mean, the Elden Ring DLC is nominated for Game of the Year, which doesn't really make sense to me. I don't think that should be
The
allowed.
DLC
Yeah,
is
yeah.
nominated for Game of the
But
Year.
next year looks pretty hype. I'm playing. So right now, video game wise, we'll go out of Marvel for now. But I'm playing. My rotation is WoW Classic. They re-released that. I'm a WoW guy.
Very much a WoW
I
guy
have to
for
say that
him.
my dad raised me on that. Marvel Rivals is coming out. Stalker 2 came out, which looks amazing. I try to get into it, but the no dead zone right now. I have a little bit of stick drift on my controller. They have no dead zone, so it's just horrible to aim with right now. So I'm waiting for that. And Black Ops 6, I'm playing a little bit of that. But Marvel Rivals is going to be my rotation soon.
Oh yeah,
I
100%.
Last night I was looking at all the character like the character trailers they pretty much have, and the character designs are flawless. The
They are pretty
Venom
good.
looks amazing. White Knight looks amazing. Even Hawkeye looks amazing. I'm great. I'm so glad they gave a good tribute to Hawkeye. And every single champion hero has like 5 or 6 abilities compared to Overwatch, which has 4, maybe even like 3, and it looks a lot more fast paced than Overwatch. And I'm not sure if it's 5v5 or 6v6. But
I don't know. I feel like I've seen. It's been so fast paced that I couldn't tell. Yeah,
yeah,
like you said.
um, I think they're really riding the wave of the Overwatch hate. Overwatch was really good, then it got really dry, then they announced Overwatch 2, and everybody got hyped. And then they released it without the PvE, which was promised, and then they canceled the PvE, so everybody's kind of mad at Overwatch 2. And this is kind of like they're riding that hero shooter wave. People have been hating hero shooters lately, especially with Concord. I don't know if you knew what that was,
I did
but it
not.
was a game that PlayStation released, and a week later they shut it down because it was
Oh, I
so
had
bad.
heard about
Yeah, yeah,
that. Like just that, like PlayStation released this big new game, and then it was
yeah.
down in
It
a
was
week.
it
That
was
didn't
it
make
was
sense to
apparently it
me.
was so boring people
So
didn't want to buy it. They shut it down for a week, which is worse than Days Gone, which that's a whole incident about a zombie game that was like
I'm
really bugged.
my
But
thing I'm loving about Marvel Rivals and just Marvel and a lot of things in general is the Doctor Doom love.
hmm
I
I
mean,
saw that.
obviously, as soon as Robert Downey Jr. was announced as Doctor Doom,
Which
they're gonna capitalize on that because then Fortnite immediately does a
mhm.
Doom season. Doctor Doom is going to be the main villain, or I think it's villain
It's
protagonist. I
I
don't
think
know
it's
of the
both.
Marvel Rivals game.
Watching the cinematic trailer,
Season 0 is like something about Doom. I
yeah.
know at least.
Watching the cinematic trailer, it looked like the future Doom fighting like the past Doom or something was going on. There was like multiverses of different heroes and stuff. So I guess that's what the skins are technically, or
Yeah.
just the different. Okay, but
Which,
speaking of
speaking of
Doctor,
skins, I want to say something. I think it is good. I mean, everyone's been taking. I think a lot of, especially online games, have been taking the Fortnite route of making
this
the game
free to play,
free,
hmm
but then the skins, because like the game is 100% free,
yeah,
but it's the cosmetics that are going to cost money. Which a lot of them I would love to buy if I had the money,
Yeah.
but because they look amazing. But I think that always works best for games because it lets your casual players still keep playing, but it
Mhm.
also helps like your content creators and stuff do stuff that still gives the game money as well.
And that also makes it for better for those live service games that need people to keep playing for it
Yes.
to survive. That's what happened with Concord. Nobody played, so there were no matches going on. And so making that free to play makes it so much easier for people to hop in and get to a match. So, speaking of Dr. Doom, how do you feel about
Okay.
the Robert Downey Jr. Announcement?
A lot of people hate it. I don't mind it. I think there are a lot of ways they can do it extremely well, a lot of ways they can do it extremely bad. But like a lot of things with the MCU recently, it is a coin flip to me. It just depends on if it's going to be good or not.
I think it was a quick rewrite from what
All the
was
Kang issues
the
with
Kang issues,
Jonathan Majors.
and
But
I'm just not
this is one of
sure.
those rabbit holes that we mentioned we could go down,
Yeah,
just to say.
I'm not sure if I like her or not. We'll have to see what happens. But I think
Well,
there was so many other actors that could have been replaced for that, and I think this is a segue to get Iron Man back or to get Robert Downey Jr. back in Iron Man.
well,
I think
here's
there's going to be a different, version of Iron Man to come back into the main
I don't
universe.
think it's going to be that. I think they're going to do Victor Von Doom, but just looks like Iron Man because you can do obviously different versions, look or different the same character with different actors because that's how it is with John Krasinski and Pedro Pascal. Now they're both Mr. Fantastic in the MCU, but it's different multiverse. So I think they could still make Robert Downey Jr. Victor Von Doom just in the multiverse, and if it was any other directors, I would be much more skeptical. It is the
Yeah,
Russo brothers, so
yeah.
I have a lot of faith in that because they have directed the greatest MCU movies in my opinion. So that is actually what gives me more faith than even Downey himself is the Russo brothers in the writing and directing of the movie.
And one thing I found kind of odd with this is that I saw like videos and stuff kind of explaining that the Marvel role that he took on Iron Man was kind of like exhausting. And when he died off, he was like, I don't know if I'm really going to come back or not because he was talking about how limited it was, being in Marvel that he couldn't really branch out and do that stuff. And after he died as Iron Man, he kind of went into those other films like Oppenheimer, for example, and kind of expanded out. So it's kind of weird that he's kind of going back into that Disney Disney hole. So it really just depends how they play this out.
And I think to get ourselves back on track after the rabbit hole and squirrel, as we mentioned. So you mentioned that you wanted to talk about shows that we want to see more of that maybe didn't get what they should have gotten in story. Okay, I'll go first with this one. I don't know if as far as I've seen, it hasn't been announced yet. But I need a Young Justice season 5.
Mm.
I don't know if you've watched Young Justice, but it is one of my favorite shows of all time. I have met Nolan North,
Yeah,
who's the voice actor for Superboy. That was an amazing thing. He signed a Young Justice comic for me.
yeah, that was our
But
first Comic Con together.
together,
Actually, yeah.
I had been to one
Hmm.
before him.
Yeah,
But that is the first show that comes to mind. But I can already think of several more that I think deserve more seasons that were cut short.
now I'm gonna go with Moon Knight season 2. I think Moon Knight was an incredible show, and it was a big way it made me a little more disappointed when they started off with that in Phase 4. Like that was one of the first ones, and I was like, wow, that's good. Like I'm really impressed, and I want to see this. I like the grittier shows like that. I really like how they figured like they did you know uh the dissociative identity disorder kind of thing where it was a mystery who the third person was, and
Oh yes.
I love the last few episodes, and it was an amazing show overall, and I love the greenness, and Oscar Isaac did absolutely incredible. I
Did
think
do
he
well.
did
He did
amazing,
amazing.
and I don't, and I'm pretty sure the show went like pretty sure it did amazing performance wise, like money wise in a Disney Plus. Now I know streaming platforms in general have been going down lately. I know because the streaming wars they've kind of figured they dump so much money into it, and people don't want to pay all these, so they're kind of losing money. So I think they're kind of prioritizing different shows. Now I don't think Moon Knight season 2 is prioritized. I don't even think it's been
I think
rumored.
Well, I think he will have. I don't know if he'll get a super or season 2, But I think after the next Avengers movies, which this is still several years, they just announced things so early. But I heard rumors that the next saga is like they're trying to decide between either a mutant saga or a supernatural saga,
Mhm.
and that be like the next stages of the MCU. So if they go the supernatural route, like Moon Knight, Blade, Black Knight are definitely going to get more focus versus kind of the back burner that they've been on recently. But I think out of the two that I said, supernatural or mutant, the money lies with the mutants.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even the Fox X Men universe still made money no matter how bad it was.
Yeah.
Because it's just the X Men.
Hmm. And did you see that Blade is supposed to be back on?
Yeah, it's I saw it was back on, but like it's still I didn't see a release date,
It's
any time to start production. I mean, they went through several directors and writers, so I like that was one of my most anticipated MCU movies at
yeah.
post Endgame, and then it got forgotten and
And now
just
there's a Blade video game apparently coming out, which there's a trailer that dropped. I'm not sure when, but it dropped and it looked pretty good. I'm really not sure what it's gonna be genre wise of a video game.
I think they're giving Blade love because he was put on the back burner because he
Hmm.
is getting this video game, and then he was also just kind of like the center of a big Marvel event,
Yeah,
Blood Hunt.
yeah.
So I think they're trying to give Blade the love that they were trying to give him with the movie,
Hmm.
and now video games and comics give him more of that attention.
And with the Deadpool Wolverine,
Oh, that
feature
that
that, yeah,
instantly put him back. I mean, and maybe Wesley Snipes was right or Snip. I don't. I'm bad with names. You
it's
will learn that as time goes on. But Wesley, I'll just say Wesley. I know that's how you say his first name. But even and the joke was there's only one blade and there's only ever going to be one blade. And I think they knew saying that it was like, oh, Mahershala Ali is going to play Blade, but he may have been right. Who
yeah,
knows if we'll
yeah.
actually get this
It,
Blade
it
movie?
it really
But
depends. And I think at some point where it gets tossed around so much, you're just losing money. And at some point, it's got to be either shut down or it's got to be made, no matter how bad it was.
yeah,
And one thing okay, we're kind of going off, but
I mean,
my
we
most,
warned them.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was part of our initial
one of my
intro.
most disappointing shows was The Acolyte. Now I watched it all,
Blade Tack Light makes
and
complete sense.
yeah, 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 and it wasn't bad, but The Acolyte idea. I remember when they had the timeline for Star Wars, and I saw The Acolyte. It was so much different than all the other stuff they were releasing. I was like, that
I
might
just
be
wanted to see Darth Plagueis.
exactly. And
That was what I wanted.
I wanted that was like the Moon Knight version of all the other Marvel stuff. It was a dark, grittier stuff, and all the idea was amazing. And especially when I heard it was during those Old Republic times, because I think it was Old Republic, because I played the Old Republic video game, and I was like, wow, that's gonna be amazing. We might see Darth Revan during that time. And then they released this no-name bad guy who was the one of the first Sith, which is bullcrap. Anyways, they didn't even see Yoda, one of the director's wife. It was all really. I like the twin aspect of how one twin was good and one twin was bad, and the good twin was framed and all that. But and then just how she was getting tempted by the writing was really bad.
I think the problem with Star Wars is they've always, at least since Disney bought them, now I mean, even the prequels people hated, but then grew to love.
Yeah.
But the problem with modern Star Wars that I've been seeing has been a lot of they make something amazing and then milk it until it's
Hmm.
dry and then it's not good.
And then
Because that was like
it's
when Disney Plus was first made, or when Plus first happened, you had Mandalorian and then Clone Wars season
yeah.
7, which were both
Oh my gosh.
amazing. And
Taking me
Mandalorian,
back.
I think if Mandalorian, I'm not saying I didn't like season 3. It was definitely a step down in quality,
Hmm.
but or season 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But if Mandalorian would have ended on season 2, like
Oh
with
my
him
gosh,
giving
dude.
Grogu to Luke, that could have like, and that's what I always say with a lot of shows. Like if they ended at a certain moment, they would have went down as like the one of the greatest shows in history. Which that is something I think a lot of studios and
Yeah.
movies and shows need to take note on. Know when to end,
Yeah.
because then it just ruins the originals when you're like,
And
I
then
don't
you
like,
look, yeah, and then you look back at it, and it's like, well, that would have been good if it didn't get messed up. So now
yeah,
season 1 and 2 is
aren't as
grouped
good
together
because
with 3 and 4.
yeah.
And I
So
heard
that's
they're
why.
making a Mandalorian movie. I'm not sure if you've
That
seen
is
that.
going to be
Yeah,
the conclusion, which I have hope for that because I mean it's still Dave Filoni, John Favreau, it's all
yeah,
of them, and I'm not counting it out. It's just I hope we get back to season 1 and season 2.
I think
That
the budget
was
will be a lot bigger, especially for the movie. They don't have to make 8 hours of content
yes.
and kind of stretch it out week by week. I think they'll make it really action packed. The one problem I have with season 1 is I know it was an introduction season, but it would get really slow in the last like 10 minutes. It'd be like really fast paced, and the next season and like the next episode would come, they'd be like a long slow pace, and then we'd go into so like having that as a movie sounds like a good idea because it would be kind of fast paced the whole time because it's only put in the around 3 hours or so. Let's see.
I think
You used to be back.
Yeah.
For season 7. That was one of the best.
That was
seasons
amazing.
Of shows I've ever seen.
I think you may need to hear our tangents another time.
Next episode.
Next episode. It's going to happen this time. He's not going to lose the footage.
It is. No,
but
I checked. MP4.
We are good.
I checked it.
But like we said, we want to try and keep it to 30 minutes, and we hit the 30-minute mark with our. But we hit what we wanted to talk about. We talked about Absolute and Ultimate Universe. We talked about Rivals. We talked about shows we wanted with more seasons. But like we said, we went down some rabbit holes. That's going to happen. But this has been a lot of fun. I hope we get to do it more.
What are you reading this week?
What am I reading? I am getting the Batman Santa Claus Silent Night Returns.
Perfect.
And Void Rivals 14. Those are the two I'm most looking forward to this week.
Okay, perfect. I'm reading White Knight and the Ninja Turtles. I'm getting my backlog done.
So. There you go.
Boom.
We'll see you next time.
Okay. We looked back at the footage. We didn't say our names.
We never said who we are. This will be edited in.
We watched it. Okay. I'm Paxton, the redhead, okay?
The redhead. I'm James, the blonde. That's the brown. You decide.
That's the PJ thing.
That's where Paxton and James. We realized we only said that and
it's gonna
never
be
introduced to it.
Okay.
It is going to be longer than 30 minutes. We are sorry.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.